you've been wondering what the best shadows are in solo leveling Rise, this video is for you. Firstly, I want to say that all of the shadows are useful in their own right. They've all got their own utility that makes them usable. However, if you're wondering which ones are the best ones to focus on for the most bang for your buck, firstly, I'll say Egress. He does a ton of damage, and with his Shadow Authority increasing your critical, you have a ton of value no matter what team you're using. And with bleeds and a stun, I don't think you can go wrong with him. Beiru, also amazing in the game. If you didn't know, some characters use attack, defense, or even HP to determine the amount of damage they're doing. You need to look at each character's overall skills, and Beiru is amazing for attack increases with critical bonuses. He also has some healing and the punishment debuff. Extremely versatile shadow to use in the game, easily a top tier one as well. Serby is not on this list because of his Shadow Authority. It's largely whatever, but he is extremely strong and one of the best ones possible in the game because of the combustion debuff that Serby applies through the use of their skills. Combustion hugely spikes your overall damage and allows for Serby himself to do great damage too. Bestie is Bestie, I don't know, but she's extremely strong as a defense penetration buffer, extremely strong for the teams that rely on that specifically, like with Yu Su-hyun, allowing her to do amazing damage, but also has the debuff in her passive for that too. Increasing the user's defense penetration, also has a 2-second freeze and increases the attack of your shadows as well. So Bestie is extremely strong and another one that is heavy as a consideration to use. Next up is Iron. So Iron himself isn't specifically great. I mean, he's good if you're using a defense-based team like the team with Thomas and Go Gun-hee, but really where he excels is because he can do a defense decrease in his skill. That is extremely uncommon for non-Sung Jinu characters and is very, very useful, especially when paired with Bestie. Now, that's where I'm mostly going to end it. All of the other shadows have their own utility. For example, Big Rock is one that I think is extremely strong in certain combinations of teams. Characters like the old, or I guess soon to be old, Cha Hae-in, or a character like Amamiya Mireille, those characters that spam skills really benefit from having Big Rock. However, Big Rock, at least without the weapon anyway, doesn't have a ton of utility outside of that. Tusk is a character that's really only good in certain situations, namely with Alicia, but she is expected to be left by the wayside now. Tank has a stun in there, but again, unless you're running an HP based team, which is extremely uncommon, you're going to leave him by the wayside. Same goes for Blades. It's a little bit more common to have the attack based teams, but that being said, doesn't really have a ton of utility. And last but not least is Kael. Similar to Serby, largely irrelevant Shadow Authority, can be useful for a couple of hunters like Kael, but other than that, really strong DPS based character, but shadows are not out there long enough for that to be the only utility that they have. So let me know in the comments down below what you think, and if you're interested in codes, make sure that you do support through the link in the description as well.